Hey, welcome to podcast number 1.
Yep.
I think, because we did our pilot.
Right.
And if you're watching, you watched our pilot, so thank you for doing that. But welcome to podcast number 1 of
Effing Details.
Effing Details. Welcome back. I am Mark Simmons, and you are
Jill Simmons.
my lovely wife. So here we go.
All right.
Yeah, we've put some work into the effing details, into our podcast. We've had a lot of discussion about what are the details, and then we got out of the details, and we just started doing.
We kind of built a little studio.
We built ourselves a studio in our living room right now, which is pretty cool, because, we want to bring the best side of ourselves, not the bad side of ourselves. I'm not looking at no camera.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So where are we going to go with this? What are we going to talk about today? What is a good topic?
So one of the things that I've thought a lot about with Effing Details is thinking about you in relation to me.
I'm a big detail.
You are a big detail. One of the things that I really noticed is that you just always have had this way to push forward. You really don't get too stuck in the detail. You just continuously move forward. So what I was thinking in who you are is why that is and why I am the way I am. And what I came up with was, because anybody could be you, but we're all just not you.
The world is a better place because you're all not like me.
That is not true.
Okay.
That is not true.
Enough self-deprecation.
Right.
Yes.
But one of the things I came up with was you started a catering company at a very young age. How old were you?
I was 16.
Right.
But let me tell you, there's a before story.
Okay.
So when I was when I was 3 or so, my parents divorced, and my mom and my dad, my stepdad, they married when I was 6, and he's in the clothing business.
Okay.
He's long since retired, but he's in the clothing business. And we had a house in Vancouver, and he collected all his clothes. And I had this idea, because I saw all these jeans in these boxes and all these clothes, that at age 7, I was going to have a garage sale.
At age 7?
At age 7 on a Sunday morning. So I got up really early on a Sunday morning, and I wrote signage for sale. I created a lawn sign. I had everything ready to go. I had all his clothes without his permission. And I went out the door quietly in the back, went to the front, started putting stuff out on the grass with my signs, when the front door opened, and my mom, with all the energy in the world, sucked that screen door into a warp with a, "What the hell do you think you're doing?" And I said, "I'm a garage sale. I'm selling some clothes." "They're not your clothes to sell." I'm like, "Well, doesn't wear them." And that was my short-lived first entrepreneurial experience. Yeah.
Do you think you learned anything from that very short entrepreneurial experience?
I did ask permission first. Permission first.
Okay.
But I thought it was pretty brilliant.
That is brilliant.
Yeah. I spent a lot of years trying to figure out what to do.
Right.
And so I always loved cooking. Mm-hmm. And when all my friends in high school had these plans to go to Europe and buy Eurail passes, and that was going to be the thing.
Right.
I got a passport too, and I looked at getting a Eurail pass because everyone else was doing it. But what I really wanted to do was open a deli. I wanted to do something in food. I did. I knew that from a young age.
Right.
And my aunt and I often talked about, hey, we're going to open up a deli one day, a sandwich place, because we used to make like really great sandwiches together.
Wow.
And I would invite my aunt and uncle over, and I would make sub sandwiches, but not the little sub sandwiches. I would go up to, at the time it was like Woodward's Food Court, so now I've dated myself, and I would buy, everybody would get a big loaf of French bread, and that was their sandwich, and I would load that thing. It's probably food for 6 people.
Wow.
Just one, but we would plow our way through them.
Right.
And I enjoyed that. So when I was 16, I did start a catering company.
Okay.
Called Mark of Excellence Catering.
That's a great name.
Yeah, because, no play on words there. And my mom and my grandmother were really great at doing sales and marketing to all their friends. Mm-hmm. And I started doing small things. And it was from home. And that kind of started a career path.
Right. Do you recall, so way back then,
Yeah.
which wasn't that long ago, wink, wink,
Wink, wink. Wink, wink.
way back when,
Yeah.
do you recall how you felt at that time? Were you scared? Were you nervous? Did you just want to get going? Like, what did you feel?
I've always had this weird sense of confidence,
Okay.
which is pretty great for some things. Maybe not so great for other things, because I've plowed through stuff where maybe I should have given a lot more thought, for
Right.
sure. You know?
Okay.
And so but that was pretty straight. So starting the catering business at 16, took an idea, I got business cards made, and that was it. Started just talking about it, started doing some things.
So you brought up a word that was the exact same word that I was going to focus on the huge difference between you when you were 16 or even 7, starting the entrepreneurial spirit, as opposed to me, who really just started embracing it in my 50s.
Right. Yeah.
And the big difference and the big word there was confidence.
Yeah.
You
Definitely.
had the confidence at a very young age to do so. I've never had that confidence. And so anytime I thought about doing something else or starting something or anything in that realm, even creative, it didn't matter what, I always stopped myself because
Yeah.
I just simply didn't have the confidence. So I would talk myself out of everything and just get stuck.
Right. I came from an entrepreneurial family, for sure.
Okay.
So I saw that around me, and my grandfather was an electrical contractor. He had his own business for a lot of years,
Right.
and he did his thing. And on the other side, my grandparents owned a real estate brokerage, and they did their thing. And my dad did his thing.
Right.
You know, sometimes taking work for others, but sometimes work for themselves. And so I was around that, not realizing what it was doing. It was just people were working.
Okay.
And that's what they did. I'm not saying that built my confidence. I sort of didn't have a lot of people necessarily shoot me down. They just thought my ideas were like, oh, it's a good idea, Marky.
Right.
And that's where that ended.
Well, that's good.
Right. The 7-year-old yard sale, that was shot down pretty quickly.
Right.
And, maybe with good reason.
Yeah.
But then, if you want to fast forward, I went to cooking school when I was 19.
Okay.
I started taking hospitality management. That's what I wanted to, but I was too young to get in the bars. In Canada, you had to be 19. At least Vancouver, you did.
Right.
And I started taking it at 18. So I took a couple courses and then changed focus. But I went to cooking school. And because I knew how to make desserts and things, I wanted to learn entrees and whatnot. And I ended up, after that, cooking school, working down at Grand Island Public Market. One of my dad's friends was opening a burger place, and I started a couple of weeks before and helped her develop some things. And it's still around now, which, this is going back to 86. So it's still around now, not the same owners for sure, but it has longevity. However,
That's amazing.
when I was 21, a deli came for sale in Grand Island Market. Oh. So I was down there for a couple of years, and a deli came for sale. And I thought, I want to do that. So I went and I talked to the owner and negotiated a price.
Wow.
Yeah.
How old were you?
I was 21.
21.
I negotiated a price. I didn't talk to really anybody about it. I just wanted to do it.
Right.
And knew that I needed some starting capital. So what I needed was $130,000. Now, it costs a lot more to do things now.
Right.
But that's the road that I had to come up with when I was 21.
Right. Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So I had never attempted anything in my life even close to that. At a young age, old age, whatever age. It took me a long time to build the confidence in order to do what I do, which is creative, which is my Instagram fashion page. I think that one of the reasons why I felt like I had wings to even start that was because you were a massive help and a big booster of confidence for me. And it helped
Yeah.
a lot. whenever you start an entrepreneurial business like that, I almost feel like you had a bit of success early on, and so your success breeded success and confidence. So you, as you kept going with it, you just built up the confidence to keep trying and just keep moving forward instead of getting stuck in the details.
Yeah, it wasn't easy.
Right.
And there were times when the details sure didn't matter. And then there were times when, man, the details mattered. If you look at places like Grand Island Market, your landlord's the federal government, CMHC. So details matter.
Sure.
You got to watch some things.
Yes.
But what we are as entrepreneurs, and what you are and always have been long before you were 50, is a problem solver. And problem solving is a huge skill to building anything.
Interesting.
Huge skill.
Okay.
Some people you may not think you are,
No.
but you're actually a problem solver. You've been through a lot in your life,
Sure.
right? And I feel like what a lot of people ask other people's opinions.
Yes.
Do you think I should do? What do you think I should do? And all you're going to get is opinions.
Opinions.
Yeah. And so oftentimes we'll look for opinions until somebody says something that we agree with.
Right.
Oh, I believe you now. That's the right opinion. No. But if you're going to ask for opinions or ideas, that's what you're going to get. And you may not always get somebody to go, that's a good idea.
Absolutely.
You're too this, you're too that, you're too old, you're too young, you don't know how, you don't know what you're doing.
Right.
You know, when I went to my family with the deli and I said, I need $130,000 on a Friday night. And they're, what for? I bought a deli and I signed a lease. And they're like, you did what? I said, well, it's not a lot of money. It's only $130,000. And they went, no, you're out of your mind. I'm like, these are the people I was counting on.
Right.
Right?
Yes.
I was counting on them.
You had to figure that out fast.
Yeah, within a week, I had to figure it out.
And then what if you didn't?
I signed a contract.
Oh, so
and
you
a bill
would
of
have been.
Sale. So
You could have been
I could have been sued. Yeah, that detail mattered.
It did.
But I knew I could do it.
Right.
Like I knew I could do it.
Yeah.
And some members of my family did come around, as well as other people. I built financing through 7 different people. Wow. Now, I would never recommend to anybody, hey, if you want to go do something on kind of that scale, just go do it. Don't worry about the financing. Just arrange some financing first.
Right.
However, the whole thing of just plowing through, make it work, is that. So if we look at you and what you did when you were in your 50s and what you built, right? This is something where it was confidence. You had full permission to do it. You felt great about yourself, and you had somebody to support you through it as well.
Absolutely. I think also it can be incredibly difficult when it's fashion, when you're taking, hundreds and hundreds, thousands of pictures of yourself that you have to look at and determine what's the best one, especially when some of them are hilarious and, can, be confidence destroying. Instead, it's really interesting. What happened was it started to build my confidence, not only just with this, but in massive other ways. And I know a lot of people say a lot of stuff about social media. Totally get it. I'm not here to say yay or nay or whatnot. All I'm saying is, for me, just going through this process has built my confidence in so many different ways that I had no idea would happen. Like, no idea. I almost feel like I could do anything.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Right.
Because I never thought that before.
Yeah.
Ever.
And watching you build, and it was, okay, so it's around fashion for sure, but you've built multiple things within that.
True.
Because fashion's not your career.
Right.
You have a different career. I had a different career.
Yes, I have a full different career.
These are sort of side hustle things that we do now.
Absolutely.
Because we're interested in doing them. So it's like, they say you got to be passionate about, you got to be a lot of things. For sure. You're definitely passionate about fashion. Mm-hmm. You're passionate about closet space. I'm passionate about closet space too, although it's, mine's a little, but I'm passionate about my little bit of closet space.
Yeah, for sure. Closet space.
Yeah, I like closet space, but you like it way more, and you deserve it. You've worked really hard to get it.
True.
Yeah. And so what you're doing within fashion, but you did multiple streams within fashion. There's Instagram, but you became a certified
Fashion consultant.
certified fashion consultant. You went back
Stylist. Yeah.
to school
I did.
during COVID when we had time to do
Yes.
some things.
Right.
I got licensed as a realtor and just after that and because it's been a lifelong thing of just wanting to do the exam. And for you got to do something that you wouldn't have thought of the year before,
Right.
and you did it.
True.
And so what flipped for you?
I think what flipped was I thought about it for a long time. And so it was hard for me to take the next step and just jump in and do it. But I had watched you over the years just take that step to try new things, just to go in. And you always said to me that when you're looking at people who want to do anything, you don't worry about the outcome. You just make a start and go for it. And so that I kept in the back of my head. I had no idea how to take a picture of myself. I didn't really know how to style. I didn't know how to pose. I didn't know how to do any of that. Posting your first picture on Instagram and trying to become a fashionista, it's difficult. For a long time, I never even told people I was doing anything like that because I was embarrassed. But I kept doing it, and I kept posing, and I kept posting, and I kept looking at pictures of myself, and I just decided I'm going to laugh at all the ones that didn't look good, and there's a lots of bad angles. So I just carried on. But then the other skills that I learned, because now what I do is I'm a fashion, I know everybody hates this word, influencer, but I do negotiate with companies. I do sign contracts in order they'll either pay me or give me clothes to showcase on Instagram. So I now have to negotiate contracts and deal with companies. I have to produce. There's now video. There's editing. I mean, it's become just a massive sort of thing all in itself. And sometimes it is overwhelming because it's a lot. But on the other side, it's extremely exciting. Not because I'm posing in pictures. It's extremely exciting because I built something from nothing.
Right.
And it just took a picture and confidence and moving forward to start.
Right.
You had that at age 7, and you had that again at age 16. Maybe for some people it's just innate, you just got it. But for other people, it's a learned skill.
Yeah. There's a lot of pieces to it. So one is permission, giving yourself permission to do it.
Yes.
Right. I do talk a lot about let go of outcome.
You do.
Unless you're a surgeon.
Right.
Then I want the outcome to matter.
Absolutely.
So you got heart surgery on me, it don't fail.
Right.
But for most of us, we can let go of outcomes. So what do? You focus on creating impact. What's the impact you want to create?
Right.
And we talk about, there's this old thing about selling. If you're in business, if your goal in business is to make money, you'll fail.
Okay.
If that's your focus.
Right.
Yes, you need to make money, 100%. But if you focus on providing the best product and or service, that's your focus, the money will come. It's the same idea around letting go of outcome.
Right.
From Frozen, let it go. It's let it go. Let go of the outcome. Just focus on creating the impact. Do the things you love. It'll go in a direction. And if you're not focused on the outcome, then it's allowed to go in the direction it needs to go.
Okay.
That's what you did.
I did.
Yeah.
I jumped in.
It went in a huge direction really, really quickly for you. It did.
Yes and no. I mean, it's a lot of work, and it's not like I've got millions and millions of followers. It takes a lot to become hugely successful on a social media platform in fashion. But what I've created thus far, I'm really proud of.
Yeah.
Because I don't buy followers, and I don't buy likes, and I don't buy comments, and I don't buy. It's all genuine and real.
I will vouch for the fact that you do sit there, and I remember when you used to get 300, 400, 500 comments a day, and you're answering every single one of them. And
I can't answer every single one anymore.
Yeah.
And Instagram will ban me.
Right. And they have banned you a few
have
times.
banned me.
Because they thought you were a bot.
Yeah, because they think I'm a bot, and then they put you in Instagram jail, and
Yeah.
it takes a long time to get out. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But yes, they do. Like, it's the whole thing. It's a learning curve, and you just have to learn it. But yeah, you just sort of continue on and go forward. And I'm very proud of what I've created.
Yeah, as you should be.
Right. So, the old saying, success kind of breeds success, I guess.
Yeah.
A little bit. But what it does is it builds confidence.
Yeah. I know sometimes you'll get people say, well, I don't understand what you're doing. And I get that all the time. And my mom for years has said, what's that thing you do? I'm like, yeah, it's okay. Not everyone's going to understand. And that's the other thing. Not everyone is your target market. You're not selling to everyone. You don't have to please everybody. There's that thing around, in order to please everybody, you either got to be chocolate or beer, right? But you're not. You can't please everybody.
That's a good point.
Yeah. And so, but you have your people. You have your community, your team, whatever you want to call it. Those are your people.
Right.
So part of it is understanding, well, who are your people? And you've done a good job of realizing who your people are. Who's your community? Who are you? Who are the people who are engaging
right
with your posts and everything? Yeah. There's very specific, avatars or whatever you call them. Right? When I have a deli, not everybody's coming to my deli. Not everyone likes deli food. True. It's okay.
Yeah.
I'm not going to make them. Right? We can't do those things.
Yeah.
However, and then as we go along, and this is something that'll, failure to start for a lot of people. So I've started things, you started things. There's a lot of failure to launch, failure to start.
Right.
And would you say you had a fear at all at any time?
All the time.
Yeah. And what was it a fear of? Because there's two kinds of fear.
Right.
There's fear of failure.
Yes.
And there's fear of?
Looking stupid.
Fear of failure, looking stupid. But people have a fear of failing or a fear of success, and sometimes they look the same.
Oh, that's true. No, that's
because what if I succeed, and what if this happens, and then I got to do this, and then I got to grow bigger, and then I need more lights and more cameras, and
yeah, absolutely. That's absolutely true as well. Because even with what I'm doing, because I'm negotiating with companies and I get product, I have to shoot the product. I have to deliver at a certain point. I have deadlines, and it's sometimes it can be very overwhelming when you've accepted a whole lot of contracts and you have to deliver it all. But this isn't my full-time job. You do give up a lot in order to maintain a certain amount of success or to grow.
Yeah. So if we're wrapping this up, our podcast number 1, which is really about the beginning,
right?
It's starting something.
Absolutely.
Is letting go of the fucking fear.
Yes.
Right? Letting go of a lot of things.
Right.
Because the biggest decision, the hardest decision in any of it, is the decision to say, yes, I'm going to do it.
Okay.
Once you're clear in your head, you're going to do it. Well, the next hardest piece, but it is less hard, is to just do something. Do anything.
Right.
For you to take a picture. Let's go take a picture. Let's figure this out. Let's start something.
Yes.
Let's figure it out. I started a catering company. The first thing I did when I had the catering company at 16, I got business cards made.
I was going to say, I bet you it was...
I'm all about the marketing and the branding. I love doing that. It's creative.
You do.
I love being creative. I had business cards made. I put a lot of time and effort into that. My grandfather helped me because he owned a printing company when he was young. He did that. Well, I learned that at that time, that my grandfather on my dad's side, what he used to do was he would rent out a printing place at night.
Okay.
During the day, he would go door to door downtown. And he would get contracts. He would get cards. And then he'd go into the printing place and design the cards at night, print them, and then give them out the next day to the customers.
Oh, wow.
As a young kid.
Wow. That's very entrepreneurial.
That really is.
Yeah.
So he helped me with the cards too. There was a few people, but the first thing was I got cards. But that's the start.
Right.
Because I'm excited. I want to get going now.
Yes.
And then comes the hard work, and you can't let the hard work scare you off.
Exactly.
Because the hard work is what creates the success.
Definitely. I agree.
You can't get away from hard work,
No.
whatever it is.
Yeah.
So let go of outcome,
Okay.
embrace the impact, figure out what it is, and just start something.
Build that confidence.
Build the confidence.
Yeah.
Yeah. And find one person to support you. I feel like
Oh, yeah.
having at least one person and
Right.
stop asking people's opinions.
Yeah, don't go out to everybody.
Ugh.
Just find that one support person
Yeah.
who's really in your corner, who gets it.
Absolutely. I want to believe that everybody is there to support each other. That's not true. That's not reality. We got to be really fucking real here. That is not reality. Not everyone's in your corner. Not everyone wants you to succeed.
Right.
I don't mean you, Jill. I just generally, not everyone wants you to succeed for their own reasons.
But that's also probably why people hire business coaches.
Absolutely.
Right.
They business coaches, I say with my clients, this is what I tell my clients, I am better than your best friend.
Right.
They go, why? I go, here's why. I don't buy into your bullshit stories. They will tell you because they want to be your friend. They love and care about you. And they're going to tell you the things you want to hear. Sometimes they'll be truthful.
To be honest, I think this should be podcast number 2, because that's really a good point to touch upon.
What, bullshit stories?
Yeah, what a business coach would bring to the table and help to push you forward.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
All right. So one of the things we have some swag. We don't have it here in our hands, but I think we had it it's on our website, effingdetails.com. And
Right.
we'd love for you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, our Spotify, or Apple, our Apple Podcasts. We have hats, we have mugs that say, fuck the details.
We're swearing.
They're pretty cool.
Yeah.
And we're kind of retro.
We are.
Woohoo.
I'm a little retro.
Yeah. So we thank you for listening today, and send us anything, any feedback you have, any questions, comments. You can email us anytime at,
Effing details.
anything at effingdetails.com. One day we're going to get this.
We are.
Anything at effingdetails.com.
It'll be on the bottom of the screen.
We'd love to hear from you. Till next time.
Ciao.
Bye.